Herzlich willkommen zu unserer 37. Podcast-Aufnahme von Chat with Funky Space. Herzlich willkommen hier bei mir zu Hause am Wohnzimmertisch zu einem weiteren Speech, einen weiteren wie Regenbogen, der uns hier immer wieder berührt, um nicht zu sagen küsst. Es ist jedes Mal eine besondere Freude, all das, was hier so aus dem energetischen Umraum bis hin in das Universale uns durch Milady hier wiedergegeben wird. Ich freue mich sehr. Wir schreiben Ende Mai und ja, neben mir sitzt meine liebe Kollegin und mietet sich ein. Sie ist gleich umgewandelt, darf ich sagen, und eventuell ja schon bald ganz herzlich willkommen hier. Bin gespannt, was wir heute alles hören, welche Weisheiten uns über diesen Kanal, über diesen Regenbogen begegnen.
Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon.
Herzlich willkommen.
Space Radio, hello.
Yeah.
Hello again, with lots of information, with lots of new welcoming things for Mother Earth, and also things to develop on Earth, and also things to let go on planet Earth.
Sehr schön.
I want to start with, the combination of this mathematical field, which are open for many countries, but which will close also for many countries. So that you understand also when you have a business, or if you have also partnerships, or if you want to start a business, that you understand the magic of these mathematical fields. So in your world, you're talking about in that country, this is not working, that company has to close, have just to leave human beings, and energetically also nature is really doing it works, and that you understand the spots where things are happening. The spots where you have just to put an eye on it, because also to intend to open up a business, or to intend, to go to vacation, or to intend to build something, that you understand that spots are just taking, leaving, and also bringing. And so which are the taking places, and what we mean by taking? By taking, we mean that energetically the places are not welcome to, it's like they need first to transform, and transformation always goes with it destroying something, or to take away, that you understand also what can come up. We talked also many times about it, but you need to understand what means it for companies, what means it for people. And to talk about that, you need to understand that especially in the northern hemisphere, many things are just taken away. So if it is, by elementary natural phenomenal things happening, it takes a lot away. And the spots,
Naturkatastrophen, die sich ereignen.
Yes. And now the thinking also of human beings must be really put an eye on it, that it's not that you don't deserve that you put again the same thing over there. You had also in the United States, you had many fires last year. So don't think that when you put another house up there on the same place that it will be safe. I'm sorry to say it like that, but that you understand that these spots are going on, and energetically these spots are going on, that things are just taken away, that it can transform to something better. But to transform to something better, it's not that you just think, okay, it was just burned down, or we had an earthquake, and then we just make the same thing at the same place. the earth needs to transform, and for upcoming 40 to 48 years, it shouldn't be like a place where you build up again. Let nature grow. And this is something what you don't understand on planet Earth.
Das ist ein wichtiger Hinweis.
Yes, planet Earth saying, well, it was taken away because this mathematical field, which will, let me say, or it is ongoing now on planet Earth, has different shapes. And you need to understand the mathematical shapes, for which and each region of the Earth, it's just transforming also what is going on planet Earth. And now you need to understand that It is because we inform you that for 48 years, the northern hemisphere will be in transformation. So things which happen there, just rethink what you are doing with that place. But put another house on some places when something happened, it's the wrong way.
Das heißt, es muss erstmal
It must regeneration.
Genau, sich regenerieren können.
And you have it also, you know it from nature. When you put, a seed, or when you put a potato, you don't take it's for 1 or 2 years, you just take the potatoes, and then it must regenerate for 3 or 4 years. That it gets, another good potato that you can eat. And
auch der Boden.
Exactly. And this is the same thing now with the natural effects. So human beings have just transformed their knowledge in business. And now, when you start businesses where things happened, now it's like taking out the storybooks that you have or history books and to understand why things happen where and why you shouldn't just build buildings because you will lose it for the next 48 years. Things will just change and regenerate always this planet, your planet, and especially those places. So you need to understand where you can build new things. So the old Egyptians, we always go back in history, they knew where they put a stone that it will hold for many, many thousands of years. And you have still until today, it's not, that you can live in there, but you have, their monuments that have been built up millions, or thousands of years ago, and you have still the ruins. So you need to understand that, even if you think, it doesn't matter because if we are not building here a house, we can build it there. But you need to understand where you can build it because people will lose it again, or people will lose life also. And also people will lose, and this is also for companies. You are just producing because you think that you have to produce, but now it gets a new era of mathematics that you need to understand what's behind that. And so you need to understand also that you have to focus on other places where you can build up things that just go on. And now also to speak about what you say, or you call it like that globalization in your world. Globalization is not taking place the next 48 years like you wanted and you had it until now. Because through this, let me say, natural phenomenal changement, globalization will get much more a problem and not a result of something good. People need to come together in their own, let me say, an area that you can rebuild for your own people or for the people in such communities. So what also, going back in history, it was always made also like that, with old knowledge and with old tribes. They knew what they had. They really went on with their knowledge, and then modern life just took these places away. And just to understand that now nature takes you these places away, which you took to other people or to other communities, because it is like a restart for something better and something new. If you think it's better or bad, it's not up to you to think it's good or bad. It is like because the world goes on its story.
Ja, ist nicht an uns, diese Entscheidung zu treffen.
Yes.
Sprich, die moderne Gesellschaft hat einfach die Erfolgserhöhung vorangetrieben. Und damit scheint die Natur, ich sage mal, nicht einig mehr zu sein.
Yes.
Und
and also companies. So it is not just build a house and then you think, well, people are getting divorced or, people are dying. Also companies, they will not produce because it's not their place to be anymore. If you understand the whole thing, how you have also to build something that you can producing for your own area, you need to understand the mathematical fields. Yeah. So if you are just saying and telling to other people in your world, well, this company has to close the doors, you need to understand why it has. So you're thinking about the money, people is not buying people, but you need to understand the whole complexity behind that. Yeah. And this is something which is very, let me say, going on in the northern hemisphere right now. The southern hemisphere of the earth has different problems, but they will get in the getting evolution and not in the put away. It's a different thing. It's a restart also for those countries. So to understand, because you are focused in your world, this is that kind of country with that name, and we do that and we have that. You're just putting everything just in the zone of a country, but you don't put it in the zone of the mathematical field. So it's like an overgoing also through the country and their how you call it, when you have two countries, a neighbor country or neighbor countries, you think that your country is just stopping there, where you think that your country has the right to stop. But energetically, it goes over those countries. So what you have right now on Earth also as a very good example of exaggerating which countries you want to take, it's going the wrong way.
Ja. Also lassen Sie mich nochmal zusammenfassen. Es ist zum einen wirklich auch der Rat hinein in unser Verhalten, was wir uns angeeignet haben als Gesellschaft, auch als erfolgreich orientierte Gesellschaft, und da hinein bricht jetzt die Natur ein mit ihren Naturkräften.
Breaks the rules,
ja. Richtig. Und lehrt uns, der Natur wieder zu hören, ihr Gehör zu schenken. Sprich, wir haben auch die Regenerativzeiten. Also wie gestern kam hier in der Schweiz ein ganzer Bergsturz herab. Es ist ein Teil des Berges und vom Gletscher abgebrochen und zu Tal gedonnert, kann ich sagen. Im Tal daneben zeitgleich hat es ein Erdbeben ausgelöst auf der Richterskala mit 3.0, glaube ich, was als solches gemessen wurde, zeitgleich. Wir haben also dort wirklich das Zeichen, dass die Erde so verbunden ist und so im Augenblick eben diese Energien ausgleicht, bis sie wirklich auf die Erde kommen. Jetzt muss dieser Teil, wenn ich Sie richtig verstehe, noch regenerieren. Das heißt, wir können nicht einfach jetzt dorthin gehen, sobald es ein bisschen ruhiger geworden ist, und wieder unsere Häuschen dahin bauen oder unsere Companies. Genau, und das ist das, was Sie sagen. Es geht noch einen Schritt weiter. Es geht einen deutlichen Schritt weiter, auch wohin bauen wir, planen wir, denken wir?
Because, you can't build it, but it will just taken away, because nature is working very, very fast and very deep the upcoming 48 years. So in this, it is like this transforming period that you need to understand, because if no, you just lose money, you lose time, and you lose families and human beings. And I need to say, it's not something that you think, well, one country does, has a better plan to resolve the problem, because it's nature which will resolve the problem, and not you as a company or not you as a human being. It is that you need to understand the knowledge about it as well. There's said before, Switzerland is like Switzerland is also a little bit like in the sandwich position of what will really in the movement. So you will have lots of earthquakes the upcoming year. Sorry to say it, but that you understand that it's so much moving to transform the places which have too many mountains. And I know that you love your mountains, but the too many mountains are places with too much energy, which want just to
gebunden.
Yes, which want also to transform the place or the landscape. So you need to understand it is not right now you're looking at it like something so bad, but you need to understand that it transform also that more trees and a different vegetation can come up, but it needs really to change a lot. And this vegetation is needed, and we talked also once in a podcast that you need to plant more trees because the energy of light, the energy of frequency, the energy of the world speeding up, the gravity, cause also different, let me say, forms of living. And it needs also to transform the oxygen. So you don't need, millions of mountains in your world if you don't have place to put a seed for trees. You need more trees. So what is going on? And you need to understand the whole thing, the whole package. Mountains are coming down, that you got more place. Because you need also trees in Switzerland. Now you're thinking, well, we have lots of trees, but we need more place because we want to build. Just think differently to understand all the registration that we have done already. You will have less people, but you need more trees to survive also the to survive, it's a hard word to say, but to let's say survive, but the elementary transformation of oxygen in your world. So the world is giving you, a reset. It's giving you, also a different place and a new place, but you need to understand what you have to do with it, and not to rethink to build houses, because a house is not effectively to put it somewhere where, the next mountain is just waiting to fall, coming down.
Ja, klar.
So you need to understand the whole thing.
Richtig. Die
And
Natur
everywhere.
zu unterstützen, um auch wieder ein Verständnis dafür zu entwickeln. Ein Miteinander, nicht ein Gegeneinander. Wir haben sie ausgeraubt.
Yes, and now this is the result. So everywhere. Yes, and you need to understand the countries which really went on. It was like you had a time in your world where you were looking, well, still today, but not going back in history, when you were looking for gold. It was like exceeding gold was everything. And now you need to understand that in the future you need the places to put trees and not to take the trees away just to build a lot. It's really important because trees and nature gives you oxygen.
Yeah.
It gives you more oxygen. You need more oxygen in the upcoming years in your world because it needs to be transformed. And gravity causes, and this is important to know, gravity causes more holes in the atmosphere that you get, in some places you get more problems.
Mit zu wenig, also dass die Luft dünner wird.
Exactly.
Ja, richtig. Und was ich auch so ein bisschen heraushöre, ist dass wir ja noch immer die Erde wirklich ausrauben. Wir nehmen ihre Erdschätze, ihre Kräfte, auch in Form von Goldschürfen. Zum Beispiel, einfach als Bestandteil der Erde, ein metallischer, eben in dem Fall Gold, Bestandteil der Erde, der ja auch für das ganze Wachstum seine Auswirkung auch mit beiträgt. Und ich höre, Sie oder ich meine zu hören, Sie regen an die Haltung von uns, der Natur gegenüber, wirklich etwas mehr zu beherzigen. Ich
Yes.
kann es vielleicht so fein antönen.
Yes. And you know, you are building as human beings. You think that when you build and rebuild and all the streets and foster, that it gets faster. You spend so much money in your world, and then in seconds things are just gone. That you understand why they have gone. You know, you need to understand that. If something doesn't need to be there, it will just be taken away. It is just a question when it will be. So now you had the time where you just could build and just put everything into a transformation that it's, let me say, remarkable for your living, because you think that it's everything you can do in your world. It's just that you can do it and you don't have to think about more what's about nature. And nature now transform that region back, or those regions back into nature. So it's so simple.
It's die Natur,
if you don't,
unsere.
and this is what will take everywhere place.
Yeah.
So be sure that when you read or you listen something in your news, that you understand also the why behind. And that you understand that what you should do and what you should not do. So we can just tell you, you know, we can communicate to you. And now you want to know exactly, because you are have this black and white thinking, that you want to exactly know the spots, you know, that if, you know, the next meter is not involved in this tragedy, let me call it like that, you will build something there. So this is not the view of how nature is working. It's not working with the plan of your mind.
Ja. Oh ja.
Yes.
Ist sowieso, es ist ja dieser Bruch von ausgehend von den Ur-Naturkräften, was unser Verhalten als menschliche Spezies vor allem, nicht die Tiere, nicht die Pflanzen, sondern wir als Menschen, wir betreiben diesen Raubbau, wir entziehen der Erde alles, was wir brauchen, um es möglichst teuer, erfolgreich zu verkaufen.
Yes. What will happen? Excuse me. Also in nature, the northern hemisphere will have just, let me say, like a different degree in. It's like that through all this involvement in nature, also the countries will just get different shapes. And it gets also more, let me say, places of water into that. So if you look at your planet Earth, and you know, millions of years ago, this was together as a country, and then, you know, you had just this planet, and then you had that, and then there was a sea, there was a lake. It transformed also your geographically knowledge, and also the geographically map. Especially in the northern hemisphere, everywhere, because through that you just get a different rotation, and it gets also in a different you call it in a different measure of continent. The continents will move.
Yeah.
The continents will move. So what happens also in the southern hemisphere? So it's not just about the northern, the southern hemisphere. Through that movement, you know, it is like, you know, cutting an egg in the middle, and then it depends on which side you turn, the upper side, and you turn the underside. Yeah. So this is like really going so quick also that it transform, and with this transformation it change also the country shape, and with this transformation it change also where you have water, where you have less water, where you can build, and where you have also less people living also at the end, and where you have also islands coming up, and where you have also borders which will just get away. And this is like the shape of different countries. You will have more water in the upcoming 48 years, and you will have less land everywhere.
Oh ja.
So
Das
you need,
sind
you know
Weissagungen.
about, about what's gravity is in your world, and what this gravity or the action of this gravity performance, let me say it like that. But you need to understand, it changed so much that you need to regulate a new. That's why I told before, it is like the people from the area will rebuild what they need to rebuild and to have for their community. So globalization, and what you're thinking right now in your world is that you want to produce and make companies and just having cities, construction which will just going on for the next 200 years. And now it goes quicker also in that you have to. It gives you just a different timetable on what is going and leaving and what is coming up, because through the transformation of the earth, there are places where you can't build, and through the transformation also of countries where it was so easy to build, it will be just more morass also.
Yeah.
You need to understand that, because you will get more water also. And even if you're not thinking that Europe has, right now you're looking at your world map in geography, geography map of your or the landscapes, and they will transform everywhere. And it transforms also, I know that you're sitting in Switzerland, it will transform also Switzerland, because the reaction of that is also that you will have less mountains.
Ja, eben. Also das muss ja global, wirklich um den ganzen Globus, muss das eine Veränderung ergeben, sprich die Balance in der Natur tut sich wie neu ausrichten. So, wir würden fast meinen, es als Austarieren zu bezeichnen.
And it's also necessary.
Und das ist sehr, sehr andere Ausformungen der Erdkruste, die wir eben sehen und bewohnen können, beleben.
So, in every country, you're just doing plans for 20 years, 30 years, and you just want to have this and that, and it must be so secure until the year 2050. Just let me say that already in 10 years you will have just a different shape, so nothing is sure until 2050. Just don't be so focused in a number of the year that you just can move, your ideas to something which is just an opportunity for your country or your government, because it will not work. So just really rethink what you need to know about what's coming up, and then resolve the problem when things had happened. And right now you're just doing things which just go away.
Ja, was heißt your world will be changed?
It will be changed because geographically
auch wieder weltweit gemeint.
Yes, it will change the shape of countries. So you need to understand, if you build exclusively hotels somewhere where you can't get in 5 years, what are you doing? Well, I'm sorry, is it a pity or not if you just know about the knowledge of the mathematics?
Geben Sie uns dort noch etwas mehr Einblick, dass wir wie so durch
the visualization. I give you a visualization. I give you a visualization of the upcoming 5 to 10 years. Yeah. So there will be, let me say, spots of islands coming up in the Indian Sea, spots of islands coming up in the Caribbean Sea, spots of islands which will be very bigger in the Atlantic Sea. So, through this movement, you get more islands, but through these movements, you get also less compact countries and territory. And this is something you need to focus on that. If you don't know that, you will just lose a lot of things. And on these islands
und vergehen.
Yes.
Also wir würden ja untergehen. oder wir gehen unter oder Teile der Erdkruste, die wir so sehen, die wir beleben, gehen unter aufgrund dieses Feuerballs, wie Sie ihn immer so schön bezeichnen. Das Erdinnere ist ein Feuerball, der sich permanent verändert und jetzt tritt das an die Erdoberfläche oder aber es wird untergehen, zerbrechen, zerbersten.
Yeah, you got more lakes in the African continent. Much more lakes, that's why it gets more green. But it starts in about 8 to 12 years, so it's not something which goes so quick. You will have much more water also in Europe. That's why also European, we always told that Europe will just have less people also because of that, because the changement of the territory and geographically, excuse me. And you will have also more bigger lakes in the United States. You have lots of volcanic activities in the northern hemisphere the upcoming years, And it will fill up many places also with water,
Ja, das denke ich, dies ist eine Folge davon. Auch die Vulkanausbrüche sind ja, Sie sprechen immer wieder dezidiert davon, vor allem auch von Vulkanausbrüchen oder Eruptionen, sage ich mal, die an Stellen auftauchen, wo wir es als solches nicht vermuten, nicht ahnen und auch nicht messen können.
And Asia, well, you know, Asia has many countries, and focus on that you will have smaller countries in Asia.
Durch die Vulkane, die dort auch also, teilweise sehr aktiv sind.
Earthquakes and also seaquakes. It's like, you know, the countries are getting smaller.
Yeah.
You will have islands, you have more islands, but the country itself gets smaller everywhere. So you need also, if you know all this transformation, just thinking also where you put your companies, because right now you think so completely wrong that's why I say globalization as you know it until now, it will just get in a different era, that it's not like you want to have it. But I need to say that many of those people being right now on your earth, having leading jobs, well, let me say, it will be like the next generation which will lead, and they have this different knowledge. We talked already about it, because they know about, it's like, you know, implemented the knowledge of how the geographic world will change in the future. So they understand, you know, what they need to do or what they don't need to do. So now you say, well, you know, until they are and have the age of that they can build or be a boss in your world. Just excuse me to say that bosses like you have it right now in your world, that will be just like an old bread, how you say in your world, you know, it's not existing because communities are getting involved into what they want and what they need. It is not that you have governments and parliaments like you have it now. The new generation will just act differently because they act what you call green in your world. They are like implemented with this knowledge how they can save the world, because you are not saving the world, you're really destroying the world. And now you get like the act of the end of how the world is just acting on what you have done with her or with it.
Ja, was ich meine auch so zu hören ist, dass diese neue Generation, die kommt aber auch mit einem ganz anderen Auftreten, einem anderen Anliegen. Sie kommt mit diesen Naturkräften bereits kommunizierend daher und nicht so, wie wir das mit unserem Denkkästchen da oben, irgendwie da machen wir die Schublade auf und dann haben wir Plan A, B und C. Das ist eine andere Art und Weise, damit aufzutreten. Ich denke bis dahin, dass es für uns heute lebenden Menschen im Grunde genommen nicht vorstellbar ist, als auch sehr erschreckend noch wirkt. Was ja nicht gar nicht als solches gemeint ist, aber wir haben noch keine Vorstellung. Wir haben noch keine Wahrnehmung von dem, weil wir sind verhaftet, wir sind in gewisser Weise auch verkommen in unseren Systemen, zu denken, eben auch, wie Sie vorhin sagten, das Modell des Boss-Seins, also die Hierarchien als solches. Das ist ja auch ein System. Ein patriarchalisches, ein matriarchalisches.
Yes.
Das ist gleichgültig, das kann so und so ausgelegt werden. Aber durch die neue Lebenssituation auf dieser Erde, auf diesem terrestrischen Planeten Erde, die Mutter Gaia, die schafft, die wie von innen heraus arbeitet, da kommt auch eine andere Resonanz herauf. Zwingend auch bei uns, notwendigerweise.
You know, in your world, you are just acting to know how it's life on other planets. We talked also about that already. How it's life on Mars and on Jupiter and on this planet. And you know, you just want to know everything about the other planets, but you don't know anything about your planet.
Yeah.
You don't know anything. You just think that this is for granted what you are and have right now on Earth. And now you think this is going on for the next centuries of years. And now it gets into this evolution step for planet Earth that you understand that also the other planets have been millions of years ago transformed into what they are today. So why you need to understand the other planets if you don't understand even your planet where you are living? You're both parts of it, but you need to understand the whole thing.
Ja, ich sage mal ganz dreist, deshalb sind Sie da. Space Radio hilft uns da, manchmal einen Blick hineinzuwerfen.
Yes, and don't be, you know, as human beings, you are acting like that the world needs to grow, you know, in everything. And now, you know, things are just getting away and people get less. So welcome this era because you can't survive in your world with 8 billion people and with more people. So if there are less children, welcome the situation like it is because you can't get into more because it transformed the world and you would lose more, you know, everything you would lose more. So I understand that where things are happening and why things are going like that, you're just looking at it as something very negative. And you need to understand the whole thing behind. So you need to understand the whole mathematics which is behind what is an evolution step in your world.
Ja. Es ist ein Growing in Consciousness.
Yes.
Es ist nicht mehr das Äußere, dass wir schneller, besser, größer, dicker, länger.
And you will really understand it the more you get into the upcoming weeks, months, years.
Ja, bitter in dem Sinn, als bittere Arznei oder als bittere Erfahrung, weil wir realisieren, die Natur fährt einfach ihren Karren weiter.
Yes, and,
sie fragt nicht nach uns, ob es uns pässlich
listen
ist.
Also to what we are telling you, because we are not just there to tell you what we wish for you, not at all, but that you understand how nature is made. And you as a human being, you are also a nature, you are a natural creature. But you need to understand also the nature of planet Earth. That you understand that being together and focusing a solution together. And the solution is not coming from your head.
Richtig, die solutions are coming from the heart.
From the heart and from the earth.
Yeah.
Yes, because so earth is giving you the solution, but if you don't want to hear and see it.
So ist, und vor allem in dieser Verbindung.
Yes.
Wir haben doch unsere Verbindung, unsere Connection verloren zur Erde, unser Verständnis, unser Miteinander, dass wir diese Dankbarkeit auch wirklich leben, dass wir uns bewusst sind, was wir davon, was unser Leben davon abhängt.
Yes, you're focused in your world of consumption. Everything which is really needed in your world is consumption. Well, it's not something, you know, that we say you need something to put on your shoulders that you're not cold. You need shade. You need also food. But don't exaggerate in consumption.
Ja, ja, was ein weiser und so wichtiger Hinweis.
And this is what you will feel because planet Earth is not giving you the same consumption as it was until now. And consumption is, not only going in a shop and buy something, you need also to understand where these things are coming. Or consumption, it means also a lot of what it's not needed anymore, what planet Earth is giving you the plan or the steps, so.
Ja, was einfach wie hinweg vernichtet. Es ist wie nihilisiert wird das werden.
Yes, exactly. Well, it was always like that, so why it shouldn't be now like that,
Und das, was Sie ansprachen, ist diese Konsumhaltung von uns, dass wir uns wir haben uns das angeeignet. Es ist für uns ein Selbstverständnis, dass wir einfach nehmen können, dass wir kaufen können, dass wir größer...
And now it stops you as human beings. It stops you and and it stops you and it transforms you and it makes you also like thinking about it. Right now it's everything. You take everything for granted.
Richtig.
That will change, yes. I'm sorry to say it that way, but the world is transforming because it wants to transform. It's not asking you, can we?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Well, thank you very much. We just send you much love that you just realize that all these transformation moments are necessary, that you get more, and now it's also the good thing in all that, but you need to understand what that means, that you get more space to build new trees. It's very important. I just say it again, that you got also life in your world, because if you don't have trees, you don't have life in your world. Without oxygen, you're not surviving. That's necessary. So you need to understand the whole thing behind it. What's going on right now? It's nature, the phenomenal of nature's work. You need to understand it as something very helpful to help you transform, to rebuild trees and forests, which are very, very needed in your world. Because you need to understand volcanic eruptions change also the quality of air, and change also the quality of living on Earth. That's why we're saying,
Ich danke Ihnen.
Thank you so much. Well, we just we help to transform the world to something better, but just understand the better and not the negativity of it. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Yes, bye-bye, and here we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.